Good afternoon, everyone. Chief Meteorologist James Zahara in the Storm Track 8 Weather Center. With me to my left, of course, is Peter Warner, our weather anchor. Of course, he's getting himself prepped up for the evening newscast when it comes to the conditions that have been going on around the area.
It's been a busy day here.
It really has. You know, of course, we started talking about this ever since, early Monday morning.
Early Monday morning, and that's just when we had the impact alert go out. We've been tracking it even 7 days before on that Saturday. Morgan and I were texting about it there as well.
Right. And so the models have been, at least, when it comes to the medium and long range models, they have been pretty consistent as far as bringing in some hefty snowfall. That really didn't change. Once we got the short-term models that came through, those became consistent with the medium and long-term models, and it's really, leading it to its fruition. It's definitely producing some pretty good snowfall amounts around the area. So, without further ado, let's go right to the Bridgepoint camera here. We're going to expand this out. And we go right to it. This is a Bridgepoint camera. This faces the I-74 bridge. Now, what's interesting, Peter, is we were talking about this 5 minutes before we're supposed to go on, and we had a pretty clear picture of not only the I-74, but the arches itself.
The arches we could see pretty well.
But not the case.
Not the case. We talked about this on our 12 o'clock stream. We were saying there's going to be brief little pockets where we could get a little bit of a break here or there, but we still expect maybe some pretty good consistent. It's not at least for the next few hours.
Right, and by looking at it too, I mean, we're looking at the visibility probably about a quarter of a mile or less.
Yep, quarter at least. Oh.
And it just went ahead and up. I think we went to a higher iris.
Yeah,
that's what we just saw.
Changed it up a little bit.
But no question, there's some heavy snow that's falling right there. Of course, people want to know as far as how much snowfall that we have received. Now, keep in mind, we've only been given just a small handful of numbers right now. And if you happen to have time to even go out and do a little measurement on your snow, we would love to see that. But this is the latest information. Some of the numbers go back as maybe about an hour and a half, maybe two.
Yes.
Okay, so these numbers might have changed just a little bit. Most of these numbers have come from viewers as yourself, where you can see Coal Valley had reported about 10 inches of snow. Andrew, who lives in Geneseo, he's right around 8 inches as of last check, but that was about
an hour
or two ago or so. Over at the Quad International Airport in Moline, just over 7 inches. Davenport as well. Maquoketa at 6.5. And Burlington, that amount came in about maybe a few hours ago. Last check at around 6 inches of snow.
Yep.
And we're not done yet.
I will say I have some updated totals. We just got in the chat.
Please go right ahead.
Give those out to some of our other friends out there who haven't heard them yet. 6.5 inches of snow in Clinton from our good friend Billy.
Billy, sure. Thanks, Billy.
Yeah,
appreciate
thank you,
it.
Billy. Logan, 8 inches in Galesburg. Springfield, Illinois had 9.5 at 9 a.m. this morning.
Wow.
Kewanee is at 7 right now, 8 inches out in Bettendorf.
Oh, okay. Very good.
So,
very good. And we
consistency there is starting to get to that 7-8 inch range for a lot of us.
Right. And you were talking about Springfield, Illinois. Yeah, they very likely have witnessed some thunder snow, and we can actually show you the radar in just a little bit. Very, very much so. Because when you get thunder snow, you're getting some of that hunka-chunka snow.
Hunka-chunka?
I like to call it Colorado snow.
It's Campbell's chunky snow.
Very much so. It can be pretty nasty. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Hometown cameras that we want to show you off as well. Of course, like around Dixon, Illinois, but Prophetstown, Whiteside County Airport, still blind as can be. Visibility really bad over at the Whiteside County Airport. Over in Rock Falls, you can see how the snow continues to fall. Really hasn't changed that much since the last time we did our coverage, Peter, back around noon.
Yeah, and you can still see that it's kind of a little slushy. You can see those little spots there kind of right around those turns as well. You're going to continue to really see slushy spots throughout the year.
Yeah.
And road conditions have been 100% all day.
Right. And just a good idea. And we're going to go as we move it to the I-74 cameras that we have here. This is Illinois and Iowa bound, right around the I-74 bridge itself. And you can see how there's some places where the roads are looking pretty good. Others just still pretty much snow covered.
Yeah.
That we're seeing here.
I think looks like it's going Illinois bound on 74 in that bottom corner there, the last Iowa exit. You can see heading southbound or on I-74. That side looks in much worse condition than
Right.
found.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And so the bottom line here is, folks, you really is important that you limit your time as far as any driving or just being outside. We're keeping an eye on the city plows that are out and about in the secondary roadways, but certainly the main roadways as well. So this gives them a chance to get those roads as clear as they can. Of course, they're going to have to double back on those same roads because, like we said, we're not quite done with the snowfall that has been going on. Interstate 80, this takes us from the Quad Cities and points west toward Iowa City. And we've been noticing, especially around Iowa City and Walcott.
Two plows just went by the visitor center. You can see in the corner there.
Oh, right,
They just
sure,
cleared
yeah.
out. There we go.
That's pretty good. Overall, really not too bad that we're seeing here. So, they may be doubling down on the interstate itself.
I would assume so. I mean, and also just want to say, shout out our plow drivers here, right? They're working 12-hour shifts, many times, to make sure the roads are clear and working hard for us. So big thank you to all of them.
Absolutely. They're going to get to your neighborhood soon, so keep that in mind. Right now, the main roadways are the biggest concern right now that we have. So once again, if you have to go out and about, really take it easy out there and increase that distance between you and the car in front of you. Make sure that you try and stay in the traffic lane, not so much in the passing lane, okay? Another thing to keep in mind is do not ever use your cruise control, okay? You need to be in control of your car, okay? And to keep it under the speed limit itself, all right? And if you're gonna be, when it comes to the steering and the braking, light touches on that. Make it nice and smooth, and you're gonna be fine. And that's only if you have to go out come to the rest of the afternoon and into tonight.
Yeah, that's a pretty messy roadmap that we're looking at there, isn't it?
We are noticing some improvement, at least a little bit, around Ottumwa itself, heading toward Mount Pleasant, which is good. What really sticks out, though, is from Williamsburg to Des Moines. They are urging, IDOT is urging not to travel on Interstate 80 from about Williamsburg to about Des Moines. Okay. Otherwise, what we're looking at here overall across eastern Iowa and northern Illinois, and that takes you right to Chicagoland area, it's 100% snow covered. Okay.
And I will say something that I think we might start seeing here, maybe as we get through about the next 2-3 hours, as this wetter snow comes down, is a little bit more of that purplish.
I agree.
I wouldn't be surprised if some of that starts to come its way.
I agree, because we have been seeing, some temperatures that are been kind of inching their way right around that freezing mark. We're noticing that around the Quad Cities at around 30, already 32 degrees in Muscatine, Mount Pleasant, Burlington, Galesburg. So we're getting that wet, compact snow, which if you want to increase the population of snowmen around here, that's perfect conditions.
Perfect. I was actually talking to Emma. This is her first kind of big Midwest snow as well.
Oh, really? Okay.
And we were thinking we might go make a snowman during our break.
There you go.
It'd be fun.
It would be. Well,
New Channel 8 mascot.
Especially for you, because you've never made a snowman before. Or have you?
I've driven, so Arizona snow is very different than, say, snow like this.
Oh,
even
really?
in northern Arizona. We tried, it didn't work too well. It was more just a snowball fight trying to get my brother as much as I could.
There you go.
That's what makes it fun, though.
It does. Well, I tell you, a lot of sledding and things like that. I know there's some people, we got some hills and valleys around my neighborhood, so I'm not surprised if some of the kids are out there taking advantage of some of those hills that are going on. So let's kind of wind this picture out a little bit here. You can see the snow here locally that is taking place, but as we wind the picture out, there's that area of low pressure as it continues to make its way pretty much west to east, I would say. Maybe even pushing a bit more off to the north and east. And of course, Peter, you and I have been talking about, how much snow that we have left to go in here. And of course, it's obvious that, we still have all this that still needs to make its way across our viewing area. We're curious as to, where we're getting this little dry spot coming in around northern Missouri, and if there's any type of little subsidence coming in behind the system that may be shutting off maybe a little bit of that snow.
Yeah, I mean, because what's going to follow this, right, is that shift in the winds to the be from the northwest. And when you get that northwest wind, we typically get those very dry conditions.
Right, exactly.
And there's not going to be a lot of moisture from that on the back end. So as the moisture's coming in from the south, but if you have that northwest wind moving in, that's going to really limit any moisture.
Right.
And that's what, again, we need obviously for the snowfall. And we have those higher numbers, but you can see it is starting to decrease right near Omaha.
Yeah, that coverage that we see a little bit. We'll see how it goes in the next few hours. But I want to point out, too, here's some of the thunder snow that's going on. I think that looks like right around the Springfield area. Maybe that batch making its way toward possibly near Bloomington, Illinois as well. So this is where right now, as far as where the real heavy snow is falling, it's right in downstate Illinois.
Yeah,
okay,
right in that transition zone.
Exactly. Exactly. So much of the dynamics there might be being focused in that area, whereas the farther north and west as you go, yes, you're seeing some pretty good snow going around the Quad Cities, but then as you go farther south and west, we're seeing a little bit of intensity decreasing in that particular area. We'll have to keep an eye on it as we go through the rest of the afternoon. But as far as the amount of snowfall to go, we've been kind of talking about it just before we started our coverage. And I would say we probably got another 3 to even 6 inches of snow from southwest to northeast.
Yes.
That's kind of what we're looking at here before it's all said and done later on tonight. And so as far as timing out the end of this snow, because we already had Harrison come in here and said, some callers about when is the snow going to come to an end? I'm not sure they're snow lovers or they're snow haters.
I don't know. I would assume probably a snow hater.
Probably.
About it, right? Yeah.
Could be. But you see the breakdown that we have here between 10 and 11 p.m. It could be another hour or even sooner than that, given what we're just noticing on the satellite and radar loop. But then as you get farther north and east, the end of that snow gets just a little bit later after that. And then once that moves on by, then we start picking up those winds out of the northwest. And that's a slight concern when it comes to maybe in the rural areas for any type of blowing or drifting.
Blowing or drifting. That's something we're going to be watching. I'd say wind gusts as of right now, latest data we looked at, maybe 30 to 35 more consistently. So, and I know there's been a lot of questions about blizzard conditions, right? But if you aren't having 35 plus consistency for 3 at least minimum hours, you're not going to get that blizzard warning. So I just want to put that out there too. We've been looking at it. That blizzard warning that maybe some people are talking about doesn't look as likely. Some isolated gusts, maybe higher, but not consistent.
Right. It's been no question. I mean, whether it may be, getting close to that blizzard's category, the bottom line here, it's still very much a challenge as far as doing anything outside, but especially when it comes to the driving side. I haven't heard anything since we've been in the Weather Center. We haven't heard anything in the newsroom about on the scanners about any traffic accidents or such.
Last I saw was Clinton around area. There's one around 920, but that's the last I've seen.
Okay, yeah, we'll probably get an update on that. Of course, on our, we've been kind of showing a loop of not just what's been going on the radar and such, but we're also keeping you up to date on as far as driving conditions are concerned.
Yeah. It's a major focus here with that. I mean, that's honestly probably the most significant impact, right?
Right,
the busiest travel weekend of the year. That's
correct. Everyone's coming home or just getting out of the Quad Cities, and that's going to be something that's going to be a challenge. Though we are expecting everything to be looking a little bit better as we make our way into Sunday. We can verify that with our future track here. This is around 8 p.m. There's that little dry slot to our south and west. And as we put this in motion, as we get to about midnight, you can see how things really start coming to an end. Certainly the intensity is not going to be there, but nonetheless, a little backwash may produce a few light snow showers here and there. And then, of course, after midnight, we start really picking up those winds out of the northwest. That could be around 30 or 40 miles an hour. There could be, keep this in mind, folks, there could be some isolated power outages, too, when you're dealing with these type of conditions, especially when you're dealing with a heavy wet impact snow and you're dealing with all that wind, that could cause some problems.
Some problems that I know out in Iowa City earlier today, we saw about 1,000, give or take, power outages earlier this morning.
That's
in Iowa City. So, again, that's obviously not our viewing area, but that's possible. Definitely something we could be looking at.
So we just have to keep that in mind as we head overnight. Just because the snow is all said and done, the wind, that may be a big concern for travelers, but also at home as well. So definitely keep this in mind. Now, of course, we've been getting a lot of photos left and right from people, which we really love. Keep sending them in. We're going to be putting a nice, huge gallery together, photo gallery, of everyone that has sent in pictures, and likely we'll be able to show that off on the 8 Plus app on our newscast on the 8 Plus app, starting at around 5:30 this evening. But you brought this to my attention. That was sent in by Kevin over in Galesburg. Why don't you kind of, Peter, give us a breakdown on this?
Yeah, so that's a 30, so this is a snowdrift he asked us, or sent in. He said 30-inch snowdrift. I will say a lot of that might have fallen off his roof. We were talking about that. But you can see even on the chairs underneath it, that snow is just piled up out there. That's on his patio there out in Galesburg. That's 30 inches of snow that's piled up out there. Again, A lot of that probably coming off the roof.
It could be, yeah.
I mean, we could have seen the drift, but it's probably pretty hard to get it up there. But either way, that's some pretty good snowfall. And
Yeah.
it's honestly just a pretty picture as well.
Yeah,
It makes
no
you think
question.
it's winter wonderlandy. I love it. And I've seen on Facebook, I know we just put out a post about, I'd say 40 minutes ago, give or
Right.
take, and we already had like within 10 minutes, 50 pictures and reports.
That's fantastic.
So-
yeah, just keep sending those in,
Sending
folks.
those in. Yeah, if you put them on that Facebook post, it's just a plain text. It says, hey, we'd love to see your photos. I know Jane shared it. I shared it as well. You can put them underneath there for either of us to see them, or head to our website, wqad.com. There's a submit your photos here tab. You can drop them off there. And also send us reports. We love to see
Oh,
those.
absolutely. And it just makes it easier for our friends in the National Weather Service to kind of break down where the main snow access to this system has been taking place when it comes to our local area. So that's always a kind of a good thing to know exactly the character of this storm itself and what that's eventually going to lead to when it comes to our temperatures. Of course, we haven't reached the backside of the system to produce those colder winds, but as this system departs, then we're going to start seeing those temperatures really begin to fall because that snow,
It's a cold blanket.
it's a cold blanket. It's just going to refrigerate that air big
Oh,
time.
my goodness. More freeze.
Yes, yes, in a way, because we're talking about temperatures for highs actually staying below freezing, and those overnight lows are looking pretty cold too.
Pretty nippy. I'm working on my forecast here for Thursday. Some of the overnight lows still trending right around maybe 0 degrees. I know
Yeah.
this has a 5 there, but that trend is potentially there for seeing 0 degrees and then potentially negative wind chills. That's something we'll
Yeah,
be watching here
that's
as well.
a thing. Absolutely. Even some of these winds that we may be talking on Monday or Tuesday, even though we're talking about lows in the teens, those could be in the single digits as well. Okay, so we'll see. Now, keep in mind too what the snow has been going on. Of course, too early to say whether kids are going to be able to go to school on Monday. There could be some delays in rural areas, but church services come tomorrow morning. Those may be closed, and of course, what we've been doing on our network on News 8 is on the bottom of the screen been showing any closings or any delays.
Yes.
Especially when it comes to church services or any other activities that may be going on tomorrow. So just go ahead and keep that in mind. And let's go back on the wide shot with both of us here if we can. There we go.
Yes.
We want to make sure we want to point out here we got some snow showers Monday and Wednesday. This event coming in for Monday, I think that's a later day
Yes.
event that
Later.
could have a little dusting or even an inch of snow.
Yeah, up to about an inch, but it's trending further to the south. Our southern
further,
hometowns,
further.
about I'd say our southern third. Our house model carries through the event now.
Right.
Or not an event, but the activity, and it's all trending further to our south.
Right.
So I'd say Henderson County, Galesburg, you got down there, Knox County, Warren.
Right.
Louisa, Des Moines, that's probably where we're looking at for
Right.
near an inch as of right now.
Yeah, no weather impact alert that
No.
we see, which is good. And then we got some snow showers coming in for another weak disturbance. Now, weak only because of the lack of snow it's going to have, but a pretty potent system only because of the temperatures that are expected to drop at least for one day that we see going into about Thursday or so.
Next weekend looks nice, so that's good news. There's a little bit of a trend there.
Yes.
We were watching for a little bit. Good news is that's most likely starting to clear up.
Yeah, that's some good news right there. So that's pretty much it. Now, of course, if, folks out there, if you have any questions or such, Peter has been keeping an eye on that, even when it comes to snowfall amounts. But we want to let you guys know that we're not done with our weather impact extended coverage that we have here. This is pretty much what we've been doing just about all day. The next one coming up will be around 4 o'clock or so.
Yes.
Then, of course, we'll have the newscast on News 8 at 5:30, on the News 8 Plus app,
yes.
at 5:30. And then after that, any more updates, Peter will be able to give you those updates as well.
Yep, 8 o'clock tonight will be the one.
8 o'clock
Yes.
this evening, 8 on 8.
8 on 8.
How about that?
Love it.
Okay. But we're getting a lot of you. Of course, we've had about 150 of you that came and been watching our coverage, so we appreciate that very much. Anything that really sticks out?
Let's see. We're looking again. Another report from Tyler. He's a big Ask Andrew fan. We love Tyler.
Okay,
right
sure.
around 8 inches on the west end of Davenport.
Oh, okay, 8 inches.
So,
all right, sure.
do we have more to come in Abington?
I would say just a little bit more. I
Yes.
would say right now, at least what we're seeing right now, we may have another 3 to 6 more inches to go. All right, I think we're talking, 3 inches in southeastern Iowa to maybe as high as 6 inches, plus farther north and east as you go. Okay, that may change a little bit given some of the downdraft of air that's coming in behind the system. That may shut off a little bit of that snowfall rate. We'll see how that all turns out.
So that's something we'll be watching closely.
Subsidence behind it. That's what I was trying to get, subsidence.
Subsidence.
Yes.
Some convergence.
Downward motion of air. So, yeah. Great. I love that. Great question there.
So what about temps? What about thunderstorm?
Thunder snow?
Thunder snow.
Yeah, I know.
It's just old Jim Cantor. Remember him in Thunderstorm.
It's amazing how excited he gets when there's thunder snow.
I think all of us,
especially when he's at the location when it happens.
all of us, I think, weather fans and weather people, we love thunderstorms.
Yes,
so cool.
absolutely. It is. It's a cool experience. We've seen that in Springfield, Illinois, just outside of town, and that's where the heaviest of the snow has been going on. But other than that, not around here so much. Anytime you're talking about thunder snow, you're talking about some very heavy snowfall rates.
Yes.
Maybe approaching 2 inches in some spots. I'm trying to get that radar loop that I had showing, I'll bring this up again here, showing the brighter white blue that's taking place in downstate Illinois. And you can see some of the strikes that have been going on as well. Looks like even pretty close to Peoria as well.
Yep.
So that's where you're seeing some of the heavy snow going. That is some really heavy snow that is taking place. That's where a lot of that moisture has been racing pretty much from west to east, kind of staying away from our viewing area. So that's good. So this is kind of what we have left to go. And like I said, I think we may have to kind of make an update here. We'll eventually get that even from our friends at the Weather Service. If the change of the amount of snowfall left is going to be noted around here. So we said 3 to 6. It could get a little bit lower given what we're seeing coming around this system.
And also, I think this last little band, that'll probably be based on what we're seeing. Not for sure, but that looks like a big final almost push of the heavier snowfall.
It could be. Now,
based on that.
As we were talking about during the break, that sometimes, the radar can only say so much. It's true. Usually it's our eyes that can really tell us what's really taking place. There was a situation where, things looked like they were breaking up in the immediate Quad Cities. We looked outside the door, and it was coming down pretty good. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. Probably as we get to 4 o'clock with our next coverage, we might be able to give you that update, see what's going on. But I would say, for the remainder of certainly the afternoon and early evening, of snow to go.
Yes.
Let's put it that way. So we'll see.
Let's see. Michelle said some pretty good drifting out in Riverdale Road out in Rock Falls. Not surprised by that one.
No, I'm not surprised.
Some drifting we can see.
Yeah.
But once the snow gets heavier, I think that's when it'll get limited.
Right, exactly. Because right now over there, they're seeing temperatures in the upper 20s or so around the Quad Cities and points south and west. We're getting numbers already around the freezing mark. So we're going from that drier snow to a more of a wet, compact snow across the area.
Yeah. Let's see. Still snowing in Monmouth. How much more? Again, that 3 to 6 range as of right now.
Yeah, probably. I'd probably go with the 3 now than anything.
South,
it might even be maybe less than that, but I think 3 is probably the max, I would say.
Yep. Let's see. One more. We got a 6.85 in Monmouth, and then from Riley. Hello, Riley. Good to see you. And then Tyler, one more question. How much more snow is possible for Davenport? You still think 3 here or a little bit higher?
Yeah, I would say at least 3 more inches, I would say. And then things will kind of taper off a little bit. I mean, at least as far as the intensity of the snow, it doesn't seem to be so bad. Maybe in certain spots, especially just making its way, near the Quad Cities and points north and east. I think that's a good possibility. You can see that in northeastern Iowa.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can actually go back a frame here. And we can actually pinpoint what we're talking about. So I would say as far as, some good moderate snow falling right around Highway 34 from Burlington, just outside of Galesburg right now. And then around the media Quad Cities, we're seeing some pretty good snow falling at this point. But you can see some of the dryness that's trying to sneak in here off in northeastern Missouri, southeastern Iowa. So we'll see how that kind of plays off. But you can see several more bands that has to make its way through the Quad Cities, and then even farther north and east as you go. See, all this that we see right here is heading toward, north central Illinois itself. Yep. So you're definitely going to get maybe another 3 or 6 more inches within this area alone. And then I want to point out, too, just outside of Dubuque, near Monticello, that line, that's a good steady snow that's taking place there. Probably pretty heavy, maybe visibility is under a quarter of a mile there.
100%. And it looks like here in the metro, we kind of getting maybe a little brief period, which is good. Like, again, if we have travel plans, I know some people might have to hit the roads. At least radar indicated maybe a little bit of a nice break here coming for about 15, 20 minutes.
Well, yeah. Well, so we'll certainly see that.
Yeah.
I mean, I want to go back to the Bridgepoint camera once again, just to
little
show
bit
that.
lighter.
Yeah, what we saw on the radar there is pretty much set in stone for the time being as far as the visibility is concerned. It's coming down pretty good. Anytime, I guess when we've had this shot for so long, you got to get an idea as to what the visibility distance is. And in this case, we're at a point where it's basically just under, if not close to a quarter of a mile.
Yeah.
So it's dropping pretty good. That's why, especially in those rural areas, you really got to take it slow if you have to go out in these elements.
Yes, that is for sure.
Yeah. So I think what we're going to do is, that's the latest that we have right now. And for anyone who just joined us in the middle, once again, I want to show everyone the small handful of reports that we've gotten. And like I said, the more measurements that we get from you, the viewers, I think the better idea we're going to see as to the main snow axis that has been going on. But I would say from the immediate Quad Cities and points just east, that's where the heaviest snowfall totals have been taking place. Over in Davenport, 7 inches. This was about maybe an hour and a half ago with these measurements. So this is likely going to change here. Geneseo about an hour or two ago, 8 inches. Coal Valley had a report of 10 inches of snow. Burlington, the 2-hour observation or 3-hour observation was around 6 inches. Okay, so these numbers are going to be changing likely when we get to our next coverage coming up at 4 o'clock.
And I will say we already got one in this coverage in West Davenport, 8 inches.
8 inches, so yeah. So we're gonna see some more changes. That's for sure. So we're not quite done with this snow yet, folks. Just be advised to kind of stay away from those roadways for today. We know the roads are going to get much better heading into tomorrow. We're just a little concerned about any blowing or drifting that may be going on tomorrow morning for anyone that may be heading off to church services as such. So we will let you know coming up at 4 o'clock right here, the News 8 Plus app. News 8 Plus app, how you get it out, any more updates that we may have here on News 8. Thanks for joining us, everyone.